Cath and this is made by Cath. Thank you very much for joining me for this video, which is going to be a fabric haul and sewing plans video. So I've got a little stack of fabrics here to share with you, and they've sort of arrived in my house over the last week or two. I've really enjoyed doing a bit of online fabric shopping and making some plans for what I want to be sewing over the coming months, and I've really been enjoying choosing different fabrics and patterns that I'd like to sew, either to fill a couple of gaps in my wardrobe or just to add a couple of fun new garments too. And at the moment here in the south of England, the weather is definitely starting to turn very autumnal. It's been changing over the last week or two. We've had quite a bit of classic English back to school weather over the last week, definitely. There's been quite a lot of rain and grey skies, and the temperature has definitely taken a dip. I've been reaching for my jeans again, having not really worn them all summer. So it's definitely starting to feel a lot more like autumn, and I've been enjoying planning ahead for what sewing I want to do for autumn and winter. I do quite like this time of year. I do quite enjoy sewing for this time of year, so I've really enjoyed choosing these fabrics. So that is the plan for this video. Before I get started talking about my new fabrics and my plans for them, I'll just mention briefly what I'm wearing today. And today is definitely a cooler weather day, but it has actually been quite sunny, which has been nice. And I've got on a pair of ready-to-wear jeans and a handmade top. And I made this top using a pattern I've sewn up quite a few times. It's a bit of a tried and true pattern for me, which you'll know if you've been watching my channel for a while. And it is the Till in the Buttons Agnes jersey top pattern. So it's quite a nice, simple pattern. It's for a jersey top that's quite close fitting. It's definitely got negative ease built into it. And I'm wearing this most simple version of the pattern today. It's got a scoop neck and a long sleeve. And I made it in this cotton jersey fabric that I got quite a while ago. It's quite an old top, this one. It's in this sort of pretty blue colour. I don't know whether you'd call this a cornflower blue. It's just quite a pretty shade of blue. And then there are little white sort of ditsy flowers on it. I just quite like this fabric, but the main reason I wanted to wear this top is because I know it goes nicely with something else I wanted to wear when I went out the house this morning on the school run, and then I went for a walk with my friend after that, and I wanted to wear a handmade body warmer that I made a couple of years ago, and I don't get out that often. Not because I don't want to wear it, but just because I feel like it's not always the right weather for a body warmer, you know? Sometimes it can be too cold, so you need sleeves, or it can be raining, so you need a raincoat. But today seemed like perfect body warmer weather, and I thought I'd share it on here because it's one I don't talk about that much, don't wear that often, but I love it. So yeah, I thought I'd just mention it too, what I was wearing earlier today when I went out on the school run for a walk with my friend. So I was wearing this body warmer here, and this is the Irma body warmer by Fibre Mood. And I think it's from Fibre Mood magazine issue number 16. So quite an old issue now. I don't know what issue they're up to now, but certainly a lot higher number than that. But I'll put it on so you can see my Irma body warmer. I do just love this, and I always really enjoy wearing it when I do get the opportunity. So it's quite a simple little body warmer that you kind of overlap at the front, and then you make a little tie, sort of cinch it in at the waist here. I'll stand up so you can see what it looks like. And it's got patch pockets, and yeah, I just really love it, so I really enjoy wearing it today. I made it in this lovely cotton jacquard fabric that I got from Merchant and Mills. It's so lovely and squishy, it almost looks quilted, and it feels like a quilted fabric. It is quite nice and soft and cosy. And then I actually adapted the pattern, and I lined the body warmer. I think it's designed to be sort of sewn up in like a double-sided fabric. But this fabric isn't double-sided, so I lined it instead, which I remember being a bit of a head scratcher at the time, but I managed to do it. So inside I use this sort of it's like a sort of, I can't remember, it's a flannel fabric, I think. It's kind of got a sort of fleecy, sort of soft texture in a sort of slight sort of shade of blue that's fairly similar to the actual jacket. So it means it's quite a nice, cozy thing to wear. And it was a bit chilly and windy today, but it kept me nice and cozy, so I thought I'd show you that too, and I'll put a picture up so you can see how it looked this morning when I went out. So yeah, I thought I'd just share that briefly. It's a lovely pattern. I can definitely see myself making another Irma body warmer at some point, but like I said, there's a limited opportunity to wear them, so maybe I wouldn't wear it much, but I do always really enjoy getting this one out. So that's what I've been wearing today, but I'll move on now to sharing all of my new fabrics. And I'll start off with the one that was at the top of my pile, which is one that I've had my eye on for quite a while. And it's this gorgeous cotton fabric from Hey Sew Sister. Here it is. And this fabric is from a collaboration between Hey Sew Sister and Pigeon Wishes. It's from their Put a Bow on It collection. Obviously, you can see the bows all over the fabric. And it's called their Viola cotton fabric. In terms of the weight of the cotton fabric, I think they describe it as somewhere between a cotton lawn and a cotton poplin. So it's definitely got a crisp feel to it, but it's lovely and soft and it isn't too heavyweight. And yeah, it's just really cute, I think. So as you can see, it's got this very sort of small kind of check going on, and then with these larger bows and a slightly darker blue colour on it. And I know this has been a really popular fabric because it's sold out a couple of times and they've restocked. I think there might be some in stock at the moment, so I'll link it down below. But I know a couple of times when they restocked, it just disappeared very quickly. It was bought up very fast. It's been really popular. And I haven't actually seen too many garments being sewn up in it yet, but I can't wait to see on Instagram when the garments do start popping up and what people choose to make with this fabric. But yeah, I really loved it, and I didn't get it a couple of times over because I wasn't quick enough, or I was a bit indecisive. And then the most recent time when it came into stock again, I thought I'm just going to get some because I'm going to regret it if at some point it's not available at all. So yes, that is my first fabric purchase, and I bought 1.5 meters of this fabric. And when it came, what was really lovely is it came with a lovely little sort of postcard with bows on and a note. And also, which I wasn't expecting, they also popped in a little label too, which says Put a Bow on It, which I think is really cute. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I don't often use labels in garments. I think it's because when I was younger, I remember my mum cutting labels out of everything I wore because I just found them a bit scratchy and itchy, and I've sort of never really revisited them since then. But actually what I like about this label is it's like a flat one, so I guess you can kind of sew all around the edges, and that actually means it's a lot softer and it isn't one of those sort of labels like this that sort of sticks out and is a bit scratchy around the corners. So I'm hoping I'll be able to use this, whether I use it together with this fabric, which would be really cute, or with something else. Yeah, I thought it was a really nice extra touch to get that in the post as well. So thank you very much, Georgie and Hey Sew Sister. But yes, the fabric obviously is the main event, and yeah, I really love it. I do love a cotton lawn and a cotton poplin. I do love sewing with those fabrics, obviously nice and stable, and sort of, yeah, just really easy to sew with. And I've got 1.5 meters, did I say that? And I have plans for this fabric. I know what I want to make with it. When I saw it originally, I thought in my mind, I know what I'd really enjoy wearing this as. And what I'd like to make is, a pattern here, let's grab it out. Another tried and true pattern for me, and it's this one here, the estuary skirt pattern by So Liberated. So yeah, I'd like to turn it into a cute little sort of mini skirt, kind of like a wintry mini skirt, because I think these blue colours have quite a wintry feel to them. And I can imagine if I wore it make it as a cute little skirt, I could sort of style it up with like a black top and black tights and boots, and that would look quite nice, I think. So yes, my pattern of choice is the estuary skirt by So Liberated, which is a skirt with a flat front of the waistband and an elasticated back. You can see the elasticated back there. And then it's got a button placket down the front, and then it's got two different pocket options built in, either these patch pockets or inseam pockets. And there are different lengths available, either this maxi or midi or sort of knee length. But what I'd like to do with my version is make it into more of a mini length, so a bit shorter. And I've made it like that before, and it still has a nice fullness to it. So even though you're sort of chopping off some of the length of the pattern piece, obviously you cut them like this because it's quite a full skirt. But I found with this skirt pattern that even if you have chopped off, there's still plenty of volume at a shorter level. And what I'd like to do as well I'd like to omit the front button placket and just cut the front piece on the fold, just to make it quite simple, because I think this print on its own will sing as it is. And I think if I added a button placket, I think there'll be just a bit too much going on for what I want from the skirt. So that is my plan, I think, to make a really cute little flouncy wintry skirt. Yeah. So yeah, I think 1.5 meters should be plenty, because I'm conscious this is a directional print, and I want the bows all going in the right direction. I think they also look a bit like scissors, don't they? Like fabric scissors. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to making that. I find I've made the estuary skirt quite a few times now, so it's quite a simple, nice, straightforward project for me. And I have got a few estuary skirts already, but I do find I wear them so much that I could definitely find room for another one in my wardrobe. Sometimes I feel like I'm wearing the same ones over again. I wear them so much, so yeah, I feel like another one will be nice. I have mainly made them before in like a viscose type fabric, so viscose twill or viscose challis, so that it's got a bit more drape to it and maybe a bit more swish than this version. But I have got one version I made in a cotton ikat fabric, which has a bit of a different texture to this. It's a bit of like a looser weave, a bit softer maybe, and this is more of a classic sort of crisper cotton. But I'm hoping it should still work well. I'm going to give it a go anyway. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to sewing with this fabric. I'm glad to have finally got some. So that is my first fabric that I'm planning to sew with, and I think it'll make a really cute little skirt. So the next fabric that I've got to share is one that came from Simply Fabrics. And they're a fabric shop that I think is based in Brixton in London, but they also have an online shop. And I always enjoy having a little browse of their online shop. I bought a few fabrics over the last couple of years. And what I really like about their fabrics and their online shop generally is often something a little bit different on there. So they have a lot of fabrics with natural fibres, which I like, but they just often just have things that you don't see anywhere else. I find it's often quite a lot of fun just having a little look and seeing what they've got in at any current moment. And I'm also on their mailing list, so I do get sort of little glimpses of their new arrivals going past there too. And a couple of weeks ago, I think I saw on their mailing list they had some new fabrics in. I went to have a little browse just out of interest, and one fabric caught my eye. And it's actually a fabric that I bought quite quickly for me, which is unusual for me because I'm not always great at being impulsive in terms of fabric buying, and sometimes that means you can miss out on things, I think. And actually, I'm really glad that I went ahead and snapped this fabric up straight away, because I had a look later that day on the day I bought it and it had all gone, it had all sold out. So it was obviously, I don't know whether they either didn't have that much or whether it was really popular. But yeah, I was really glad I got hold of it because it's like a dead stock fabric and I don't think it's one they're going to be getting back in. So sorry if you like it, I don't think it is available anymore now, but I will link the Simply Fabrics website down below. It's always worth having a browse. It's a really fun website to look at. But yes, this is the fabric that I got. I'll hold it up so you can see. And it's just a bit different really, and that's what I liked about it. Here it is. So this is described as a dead stock embroidered French terry fabric. So it's got this black base and these lovely embroidered flowers on. I'll hold them up closer so you can see the lovely detail in the flowers. There are a few different designs on the fabric. They're really, really pretty. And I do love a bit of black. So I thought that, you know, I thought the black is quite sort of simple and classic, and then the flowers just make it pop really, I guess. And the kind of reds and whites and a little bit of green and blue. I just thought the colours were really, really pretty and perfect for kind of autumn, winter. So yeah, I was actually, when it arrived, I wasn't quite knowing what to expect. It's described, I think, as a cotton polyester blend. And I'm not always the biggest fan of like polyester in fabrics, but I do have a couple of ready-to-wear sweatshirts that are cotton poly blends that actually I found that I've had them for years and they've washed well and lasted well, and I don't really notice the polyester content, you know, I don't really notice them not being breathable. So I thought, you know, it's got some cotton in and it looks lovely, let's just go for it and don't be too put off by a bit of polyester in it. That was what I thought. So yeah, when it arrived, I was a bit surprised actually, because firstly, although it's like, you can see it's like a French toast, it's got that like sort of loop back texture and everything, it isn't the stretchiest fabric ever. So I guess maybe when they describe it as a cotton polyester blend, it's like a knit fabric, but maybe it doesn't have any elastane in. That might explain why it's not as stretchy as I'm used to for sort of French terry fabrics. It has got a little bit of give-in, but I don't think you'd want to use it. I don't think I want to use it to make anything like tight-fitting like this. I think it might end up feeling a bit like squished in and not able to move because it isn't super stretchy. But the other thing that I was surprised about when it's arrived actually is that the flowers are a bit bigger than I expected. I somehow expected them to be slightly smaller scale. I don't know whether on the website there was like a ruler or something to give scale, and I maybe didn't have a proper look at it or what, but it was just they're a bit larger scale than I expected. It was a bit of a surprise when it arrived. So I just thought it would make a nice basic sweatshirt, maybe with some black ribbing on the cuffs and the neckband and the bottom band. That's what I was thinking. But when the fabric arrived, the larger scale of the flowers just made me think, I'm not sure that's what I want to make with it. I don't know why, I just felt like that would have worked better with a smaller scale flower print in my mind. And actually, I'm thinking now what I'd like to make with this instead is another type of sweatshirt. But I think I might go for a sweatshirt with more of like a funnel neck, where I can make the whole thing out of this fabric instead of using ribbing. I think that might look quite nice, and then just really let the print again stand out on its own without adding any sort of different cuffing fabric. So I think that's what I'm going to go for. So I've got a couple of different patterns in mind. There's one pattern I tried recently, which is the LB pullover by Paper Theory. That's got a nice funnel neck and quite a relaxed fit to it, which I think will work well for this fabric that isn't super stretchy. Also, one of my favourites, the Jarrah sweatshirt by Megan Nielsen, that has there's a few different versions of that, including a funnel neck version, so I could use that one. And there's also, I like the toaster sweater by Soho 7, that is slightly more close fitting. But I think there would be enough stretch in this for that one. So I've got a few different options. I need to have a think about which one I want to go for. So yeah, but that is my plan for this fabric. I think it will make a lovely sweater of some sort, and just a little bit different, because you don't always see fabrics to buy that have embroidery on like this, and I really love that. So hopefully it'll be okay to sew with if I kind of cut through. I'm sure any pattern I use will involve cutting through some embroidery at some points. It doesn't look, this is the raw edge of it at the moment, it doesn't look like it's sort of coming apart too much. I'll obviously overlock it. It doesn't look like it's kind of totally coming apart and cut through, so hopefully it'll be fine. But yeah, I just thought it was really pretty, and I've got 1.5 meters of this, so that should be plenty to make some sort of sweatshirt. But yeah, just looking at the camera thinking, oh, I love this fabric. I'm really glad I managed to get hold of some when it did sort of whiz in stock and then whiz out of stock again. So yeah, that is my second fabric. Definitely one that's going to be perfect for autumn and winter in the sort of cooler months. So the next two fabrics I've got to share both came from Sew Me Sunshine, and they were delivered along with a really cute little postcard, this one here, which I think is really pretty. And it's quite useful too. On the back, there's a whole section here you can fill in with all the details of your fabric. So I thought that was quite a nice little touch. And the first fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine is actually a type of fabric that I've never sewn with before, but I've always been quite curious about and wanting to give a try. And then I was having a little browse on the Sew Me Sunshine website for something else, and I came across this and thought, let's get some and give it a try, because you have always wanted to give it a go. So it is a Ponte de Roma fabric. I'm never sure whether you say Ponte or Ponte, so apologies if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. But it's a Ponte de Roma fabric, and what I really liked about the look of this fabric is it's got quite a high viscose content. And I've always been a little bit put off Ponte fabrics, because I know they're often quite rich in polyester, which, like I mentioned before, isn't one of my favourites. I do prefer more sort of breathable, natural fabrics. And I know you can get more viscose based Ponte, but I haven't seen that many of them around. But I saw this one, and I thought it was a really pretty colour. So yeah, I just snapped it up. So this is the Ponte I got. It's really heavy actually as a fabric. Yeah, it's a really weighty fabric. And this colour of this fabric is called Spruce Green. And it's actually a little bit more green in real life. I think on the screen here it's showing up a little bit more teal, but it's a little bit more green in real life. Quite a nice deep sort of forest green colour. So I thought that's a really pretty colour, but work really well for autumn and winter. So yeah, as far as I'm aware, my knowledge is that Ponte Roma is a type of double knit fabric. So it's like 2 layers of fabric knitted together, which is why I guess it's a bit more weighty than like a single layer cotton jersey classic fabric like I'm wearing today. And it means it's got a lovely drape to it, but it is a bit more sort of, I guess it's a bit more easy to sew with in a way. It's got a bit more stability because of the 2 layers of fabric sort of knitted together. And yeah, it's just, I thought it would be a really nice fabric to wear for autumn winter, because it's a bit more cozy than like a single layer cotton jersey. And it's got a bit of a sheen to it too, which is quite pretty actually, you can see that. But yeah, lovely drape, but yeah, a little bit more heavyweight than a cotton jersey. And what I would like to make with this fabric is a pattern that is like a perfect match for this fabric. It's another older pattern. It's the Cocoa pattern, the Cocoa dress and tunic pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. So this is one of Tilly and the Buttons' really early patterns, and I don't see it being made up so much these days, but I think it's quite a classic dress that will never go out of style because it is so classic. So I'll show you it here. So it's a dress with a sort of wide boat neck, and then you can either make it as a tunic top or this dress that sort of goes out into an A-line shape. And you can make either a full-length sleeve or a 3/4 sleeve, and you can add on patch pockets if you would like to. And you can give it a sort of 60s vibe, adding little cuffs and this little sort of funnel neck detail here. Or you can make it just very simple. And I've made one version before, and I made a version with just a plain boat neckline without any pockets, just a real classic sort of cute little baby doll dress. That's what it feels like when I'm wearing it. But when I made my first version, I didn't make it in a recommended fabric. I made it in a just plain single layer cotton jersey. And when I came to sewing the boat neckline, which you kind of, I think you turn under and then sew, my neckline stretched out. And I think it's because the fabric wasn't stable enough, so it did stretch. I still really enjoy wearing that dress. Yeah, I still get out and really enjoy wearing it. but I know the fabric wasn't a perfect match to the pattern, and if I made it again in that type of fabric, I would do the neckline differently. But ever since, I've been really wanting to try the cocoa in one of the recommended fabrics, which is a medium weight knit fabric with little stretch, including a Ponte de Roma double knit or interlock. So yeah, that is what I've been wanting to do, and I thought this fabric would make a really nice, very simple, classic cocoa dress. So I'd like to make, again, the version which was the plain boat neck. I don't want to add the sort of funnel neckline, and I'll probably make it long sleeve just so it's nice and cozy. And yeah, I want to make the dress version rather than the tunic version. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to sewing with this fabric. I understand, I remember from when I was new to sewing that a lot of people recommended Ponte type fabric is a good place to start when you're sewing with knit fabrics, because it has got that bit more stability to it and less likely to stretch. So yeah, it'll be nice to try it. I'm hoping it should start nicely, fingers crossed. The only thing is, I know my sewing machine sometimes can be a little bit funny with fabrics that I'd have a little bit more sheen to them. This almost has the feel of like a sportswear type jersey, and sometimes it can get a bit upset about doing a zigzag stitch through that type of fabric. So I'm hoping it'll find this fabric okay. But yeah, I just think it'll make quite a nice classic dress that I could kind of wear a bit more formally, or also I think it would just be nice with, like, you know, trainers too. And I'm just really looking forward to give it a go. I think this fabric is still in stock, and I remember there were a few different colours. There was definitely a purple colour also, and maybe like a burgundy colour. So I'll link it down below. But yeah, the composition of it is 65% viscose, 30% nylon and 5% elastane. So yeah, I'm hoping it'll be a nice comfortable one to wear as well as to sew with. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying the cocoa again. It's been quite a while since I made my first version. So I'm looking forward to revisiting it, and I do like this colour. Hopefully it'll be a perfect pattern and fabric match, but we shall see. So that is the first fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. And then the second fabric is another plain, actually. I've got two plain, not print fabrics here. And this one is plain black. It's not the most exciting fabric in the world. And this is a brushed back jersey fabric, which is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for online when I came across the Ponte that I also bought. So yeah, this is a Sew Me Sunshine's brushed back jersey fabric in black. I will link it down below. I think it's still in stock. So it means it's got like a lovely fleecy back, but it's a bit more lightweight than like a sort of sweatshirt jersey. So it's kind of, I'd say it's sort of, in terms of coziness, this will be somewhere between like a loop back French terry jersey fabric and like a fleece back sweatshirt fabric, which is what I was looking for, which is not always that easy to find, I think, sometimes. So yeah, I got that, and I got some matching ribbing actually. So it's actually 3 fabrics, but I kind of consider these sort of 2 fabrics together. Just some plain old black tubular ribbing. And what I'd like to make with this fabric is something not super duper exciting, but something that I've been wanting in my wardrobe for ages. And I often think, oh, if only I had that, that'd be perfect to put on here, there and everywhere. And what I'd like to make is basically a cropped sweatshirt. So I've got a couple of ready to wear sweatshirts I've had for years. And actually, you know, earlier in the video I was mentioning about how when I was talking about the embroidered fabric, I was saying about how I got a couple of sweatshirts that are kind of cotton and poly mix that I've had for ages and washed and wear really well. And this is one of them. I've got 2 of them, got them years and years ago from H&M. And I've just worn them so much ever since. I've got this one and one in a hot pink colour. And they're just quite a simple cropped sweatshirt. As you can see, they kind of pull in at the bottom of it. You can see sort of gathering of the fabric there to get into the bottom. I mean, it's not actually gathered, but you know, kind of it pulls it in to look a bit sort of pulled in. And again, the sleeve here, it's kind of pulled in a little bit on the sleeve. And I just wear them so much over so many things. They really are work horses in my wardrobe. And I've been wanting to make myself a plain black one, which I just think would go over so much stuff, dresses, jeans, everything. So yeah, this fabric is a sort of fleecy, because it's quite worn, bobbly fleece now, a sort of fleecy backed French terry fabric. It's definitely lighter weight than a sweatshirt jersey. And I just basically want to recreate this in black, really. So I wasn't sure whether to use a pattern I already have. I have made a cropped Jarrah sweatshirt by Megan Nielsen before, which I like wearing. And also the Closet Core Mile End sweatshirt, which is another sweatshirt pattern I really like, is kind of cropped anyway. But what I quite fancy doing for this fabric actually is just having a go of just trying to actually use this sweatshirt and replicate it and sort of trace out the pattern pieces to pretty much match this, rather than starting with a pattern and adapting it, just because I thought it would be quite fun to try that. And a sweatshirt's quite a simple garment to give it a go on, and the fit isn't too critical. I just thought, I just thought, why not, try creating it from scratch. So I've seen people do it on Instagram. It looks quite a lot of fun, kind of making the pattern piece yourself. So I think that's what I'm going to have a go of. And just looking, there's a few nice, when you start looking at a ready-to-wear garment, there's a few nice details in here, like all around the sleeve, it's sort of top stitch. Can you see, which is quite nice, I think, a little detail. So maybe I don't know whether I'll do that, but yeah. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to having that in my wardrobe. It isn't the most exciting thing ever, but it's just something that I feel like is definitely filling a hole in my wardrobe. So again, I'll link the fabric down below, but I was just pleased to be able to find that kind of in-between weight fabric, because sometimes it's really hard online, I think, to know how heavy weight or lightweight a fabric is going to be. And when this arrived, I thought, that's just right. So yes, that is my second fabric from Sew Me Sunshine, or third fabric if you include the ribbing too. So those are all of my new fabrics I've got to share, and I'm really, really looking forward to starting sewing them up. And while I'm on, I thought I'd also mention a new pattern that I've got my eye on. It only actually popped up on my Instagram today, so it is very, very new, but I saw it and thought, I really like the look of it, and I could definitely see myself making one. I think it'd be perfect for autumn and winter. And it is the new Tilly and the Buttons pattern. You may well have seen it. It's their new Ramona skirt. So I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like. But it's a really cute skirt that you can make as either a mini skirt or a knee-length skirt, and the knee-length skirt has a little slit at the back, I think, to make it easier to walk in, because it has quite a straight fit to it. Then it's got a curved waistband, and it's got 4 darts, 2 at the front and 2 at the back, to sort of shape nicely around the area. And it's got an invisible side zip. And it's also got 2 different pocket options, some quite cute sort of curved patch pockets, which I like the look of. Also what they describe as like a 60s inspired sort of faux pocket flap, which look quite interesting too. And what I also liked about it is it's got an optional lining. And I don't know why, but linings often make me a little bit nervous. So I thought the idea that it was included in the pattern, I don't have to think about making it myself, did appeal to me too. So yeah, I really like the look of that pattern. I think it's available in a UK 6 up to a UK 34. And definitely the samples they've made in some lovely fabrics that definitely make it look very appealing. So yeah, I think I'm going to have a little browse online and see if I can find some fabric that makes me really inspired to make that pattern, because I do love a sort of skirt for winter. And I think a straight skirt would be a really nice, just a really simple straight skirt without buttons or like a front fly or anything would be something different that I haven't got in my sort of wardrobe or my pattern collection either. So I thought I'd mention that one too. I'm definitely really tempted to add that to my autumn sewing plans as well. So yes, that's everything that I think I wanted to mention in today's video. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing all about my new fabrics and my plans for them. I'd love to know what you've got planned to sew for the coming months too. I always love hearing about different patterns and fabrics people are sewing with. So much inspiration. So thank you always, as ever, for when you do comment. Thank you also for always liking my videos and for coming back to watch more of them. And I'll hopefully be back with another video very soon. So yes, thank you for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon. But in the meantime, I hope you have a really lovely week. Bye.